Okay, thanks for joining me for the third episode of the Mueller Report audiobook. We're commencing our reading today from page 38. Previous two episodes have covered the first 37 pages. Intrusions into the DCCC and DNC networks. Initial access. By no later than April 12, 2016, the GRU had gained access to the DCCC computer network using the credentials stolen from a DCCC employee who had been successfully spearphished the week before. Over the ensuing weeks, the GRU traversed the network, identifying different computers connected to the DCCC network. By stealing network access credentials along the way, including those of IT administrators with unrestricted access to the system, the GRU compromised approximately 29 different computers on the DCCC network. Approximately 6 days after first hacking into the DCCC network on April 18, 2016, GRU officers gained access to the DNC network via a virtual private network (VPN) connection between the DCCC and the DNC networks. Between April 18, 2016 and June 8, 2016, Unit 26165 compromised more than 30 computers on the DNC network, including the DNC mail server and shared file server. Implantation of malware on DCCC and DNC networks. Unit 26165 implanted on the DCCC and DNC networks two types of customized malware known as X-Agent and X-Tunnel. Mimikatz, a credential harvesting tool, and a rare.exe, a tool used in these intrusions to compile and compress materials for exfiltration. X-Agent was a multifunction hacking tool that allowed Unit 26165 to log keystrokes, take screenshots, and gather other data about the infected computers, e.g. file directories and operating systems. X-Tunnel was a hacking tool that created an encrypted connection between the victim DCCC DNC computers and GRU-controlled computers outside the DCCC and DNC networks that was capable of large-scale data transfers. GRU officers then used X-Tunnel to exfiltrate stolen data from the victim computers. And in the footnotes on this page, description: a VPN extends a private network, allowing users to send and receive data across public networks such as the internet as if the connecting computer was directly connected to the private network. The VPN in this case had been created to give a small number of DCCC employees access to certain databases housed on the DNC network. Therefore, while DCCC employees were outside the DNC's private network, they could access parts of the DNC network from their DCCC computers. Another footnote: malware is short for malicious software, and here refers to software designed to allow a third party to infiltrate a computer without the consent or knowledge of the computer's user or operator. Some further footnotes are redacted. Moving to page 39. To operate X-Agent and X-Tunnel on the DCCC and DNC networks, Unit 26165 officers set up a group of computers outside those networks to communicate with the implanted malware. The first set of GRU-controlled computers, known by the GRU as middle servers, sent and received messages to and from malware on the DNC DCCC networks. The middle servers in turn relayed messages to a second set of GRU-controlled computers, labelled internally by the GRU as an AMS panel. The AMS panel is redacted, served on a nerve centre through which GRU officers monitored and directed the malware's operations on the DNC DCCC networks. The AMS panel used to control X-Agent during the DCCC and DNC intrusions were housed on a leased computer located near Redaction, Arizona, and then some further redactions on that page. And a footnote on this page 39: in connection with these intrusions, the GRU used computers, virtual private networks, dedicated servers operated by hosting companies, etc., that it leased from third-party providers located all over the world. The investigation identified rental agreements and payments for computers located in inter alia redaction, all of which were used in the operations targeting the US election. The Arizona-based AMS panel also stored thousands of files containing keylogging sessions captured through X-Agent. These sessions were captured as GRU officers monitored DCCC and DNC employees' work on infected computers regularly between April 2016 and June 2016. Data captured in these keylogging sessions included passwords, internal communication between employees, banking information, and sensitive personal information. Theft of documents from DNC and DCCC networks. Officers from Unit 26165 stole thousands of documents from the DCCC and DNC networks, including significant amounts of data pertaining to the 2016 US federal elections. Stolen documents included internal strategy documents, fundraising data, opposition research, and emails from the work inboxes of DNC employees. The GRU began stealing DCCC data shortly after it gained access to the network. On April 14, 2016, approximately 3 days after the initial intrusion, GRU officers downloaded ra.exe onto the DCCC's document server. The following day, the GRU searched one compromised DCCC computer for files containing search terms that included Hillary, DNC, Cruz, and Trump. On April 25, 2016, the GRU collected and compressed PDF and Microsoft documents from folders on the DCCC's shared file server that pertained to the 2016 election. The GRU appears to have compressed and exfiltrated over 70 gigabytes of data from this file server. The GRU also stole documents from the DNC network shortly after gaining access. On April 22, 2016, the GRU copied files from the DNC network to GRU-controlled computers. Stolen documents included the DNC opposition's research into candidate Trump. Between approximately May 25, 2016 and June 1, 2016, GRU officers accessed the DNC's mail server from a GRU-controlled computer leased inside the United States. During these connections, Unit 26165 officers appear to have stolen thousands of emails and attachments, which were later released by WikiLeaks in July 2016. Dissemination of the hacked materials. The GRU's operations extended beyond stealing materials and included releasing documents stolen from the Clinton campaign and its supporters. The GRU carried out the anonymous release through two fictitious online personas that it created, DCLeaks and Gussifer 2.0, and later through the organisation WikiLeaks. DCLeaks. The GRU began planning the releases at least as early as April 19, 2016, when Unit 26165 registered the domain dcleaks.com through a service that anonymised the registrant. Unit 26165 paid for the registration using a pool of Bitcoin that it had mined. The dcleaks.com landing page pointed to different tranches of stolen documents arranged by victim or subject or matter. Other dcleaks.com pages contained indexes of the stolen emails that were being released, bearing the sender, recipient, and date of the email. To control access and the timing of releases, pages were sometimes password protected for a period of time and later made unrestricted to the public. Starting on June 2016, the GRU posted stolen documents onto the website dcleaks.com, including documents stolen from a number of individuals associated with the Clinton campaign. These documents appear to have originated from personal email accounts, in particular Google and Microsoft accounts, rather than the DNC and DCCC computer networks. DCLeaks victims included an advisor to the Clinton campaign, former DNC employee and Clinton campaign employee, and 4 other campaign volunteers. The GRC released through DCLeaks.com thousands of documents including personal identifying and financial information, internal correspondence related to the Clinton campaign and prior political jobs, fundraising files and information. And just checking the footnotes if there's anything critical there. No, we'll leave that. GRU officers operated a Facebook page under the DCLeaks moniker, which they primarily used to promote releases of materials. The Facebook page was administered through a small number of pre-existing GRU-controlled Facebook accounts. GRU officers also used the DCLeaks Facebook account, the Twitter account at DCLeaks_, and the email account DCLeaksproject@gmail.com to communicate privately with reporters and other US persons. GRU officers using the DCLeaks persona gave certain reporters early access to archives of leaked files by sending them links and passwords to pages on the DCLeaks.com website that had not yet become public. For example, on July 14, 2016, GRU officers operating under the DCLeaks persona sent a link and password for a non-public DCLeaks webpage to a US reporter via the Facebook account. Let's just have a quick look at the footnote because that might explain who that is. Facebook message, and then the personal privacy has been redacted. Similarly, on September 14, 2016, GRU officers sent reporters Twitter direct messages from @DCLeaks with a password to another non-public part of DCLeaks.com website. The DCLeaks.com website remained operational and public until March 2017. Gusva 2.0. On June 14, 2016, the DNC and its cyber response team announced the breach of the DNC network and suspected theft of DNC documents. In the statements, the cyber response team alleged that a Russian state-sponsored actors, which they referred to as Fancy Bear, were responsible for the breach. Apparently, in response to that announcement on June 15, 2016, GRU officers using the persona Gusva 2.0 created a WordPress blog. In the hours leading up to the launch of that WordPress blog, GRU officers logged into a Moscow-based server used and managed by Unit 74455 and searched for a number of specific words and phrases in English, including some 100 sheets, Illuminati, and worldwide known. Approximately 2 hours after the last of those searches, Gusva 2.0 published its first post, attributing the DNC server hack to a lone Romanian hacker and using several of the unique English words and phrases that the GRU officers had searched for that day. That same day, June 15, 2016, the GRU also used the Gusva 2.0 WordPress blog to begin releasing to the public documents stolen from the DNC and DCCC computer networks. The Gusva 2.0 persona ultimately released thousands of stolen documents from the DNC and DCCC in a series of blog posts between June 15, 2016 and October 18, 2016. Released documents included opposition research performed by the DNC, including a memorandum analysing potential criticisms of candidate Trump, internal policy documents such as recommendations on how to address politically sensitive issues, analyses of specific congressional races, fundraising documents. Releases were organised around thematic issues such as specific states, e.g. Florida and Pennsylvania, that were perceived as competitive in the 2016 US presidential election. Beginning in late June 2016, the GRU also used the Gusva 2.0 persona to release documents directly to reporters and other interested individuals. Specifically on June 27, 2016, Gusva 2.0 sent an email to the news outlet The Smoking Gun offering to provide exclusive access to some leaked emails linked to Hillary Clinton's staff. The GRU later sent the reporter a password and link to a locked portion of DCLeaks.com website that contained an archive of emails stolen by Unit 26165 from a Clinton campaign volunteer in March 2016. That the Gusva 2.0 persona provided reporters access to a restricted portion of the DCLeaks website tends to indicate that both personas were operated by the same or closely related group of people. The GRU continued its release efforts through Gusva 2.0 into August 2016. For example, on August 15, 2016, the Gusva 2.0 persona sent a candidate for the US Congress documents related to the candidate's opponent. On August 22, 2016, the Gusva 2.0 persona transferred approximately 2.5 gigabytes of Florida-related data stolen from the DCCC to a US blogger covering Florida politics. On August 22, 2016, the Gustavia 2.0 persona sent a US reporter documents stolen from the DCCC pertaining to the Black Lives Matter movement. And we move now to the next page. Got some redactions here. The GRU was also in contact through the Gustavia 2.0 persona with redaction, a former Trump campaign member, and further redaction. In early August 2016, Twitter's suspension of the Gustavia 2.0 Twitter account. After it was reinstated, GRU officers posing as Gustavia 2.0 wrote redaction via private message. Thank you for writing back. Do you find anything interesting in the docs I posted? On August 17, 2016, the GRU added, please tell me if I can help you. Anyhow, it would be a great pleasure to me. On September 9, 2016, the GRU, again posing as Gustavia 2.0, referred to a stolen DCCC document posted online and asked, redaction, what do you think of the info on the turnout model for the Democrats' entire presidential campaign? Redaction responded, pretty standard. The investigation did not identify evidence of other communications between redaction and Gustavia 2.0. Use of WikiLeaks. In order to expand its influence in the 2016 US presidential election, the GRU units transferred many of the documents they stole from the DNC and the chairman of the Clinton campaign to WikiLeaks. GRU officers used both the DCLeaks and Gustavia 2.0 personas to communicate with WikiLeaks through Twitter private messaging and through encrypted channels, including possibly through WikiLeaks' private communication system. WikiLeaks expressed opposition toward the Clinton campaign. WikiLeaks, and particularly its founder Julian Assange, privately expressed opposition to candidate Clinton well before the first release of stolen documents. In November 2015, Assange wrote to other members and associates of WikiLeaks that we believe it would be much better for GOP to win. Dems plus media plus liberals would then form a bloc to rein in their worst qualities. With Hillary in charge, GOP will be pushing for her worst qualities. Dems plus media plus neoliberals will be mute. She's a bright, well-connected, sadistic sociopath. In March 2016, WikiLeaks released a searchable archive of approximately 30,000 Clinton emails that had been obtained through FOIA litigation. While designing the archive, one WikiLeaks member explained the reason for building the archive to another associate. Just checking the footnotes there. We want this repository to become the place to search for background on Hillary's plotting at the State Department during 2009-2013. Firstly, because it's useful and will annoy Hillary, but secondly, because we want to be seen to be a resource player in the US election, because it may encourage people to send us even more important leaks. WikiLeaks' first contact with Gustavia 2.0 and DCLeaks. Shortly after the GRU's first release of stolen documents through DCLeaks.com in June 2016, GRU officers also used the DCLeaks persona to contact WikiLeaks about possible coordination in the future release of stolen emails. On June 14, 2016, DCLeaks sent a direct message to WikiLeaks noting, you announced your organisation was preparing to publish more Hillary's emails. We are ready to support you. We have some sensitive information too, in particular her financial documents. Let's do it together. What do you think about publishing our info at the same time? Thank you. There's a redaction after that quote. Around the same time, WikiLeaks initiated communications with the GRU persona Gustavia 2.0 shortly after it was used to release documents stolen from the DNC. On June 22, 2016, 7 days after Gustavia 2.0's first releases of stolen DNC documents, WikiLeaks used Twitter's direct message function to contact the Gustavia 2.0 Twitter account and suggest that Gustavia 2.0 send any new material stolen from the DNC here for us to review, and it will have a much higher impact than what you are doing. On July 6, WikiLeaks again contacted Gustavia 2.0 through Twitter's private messaging function, writing, if you have anything Hillary related, we want it in the next 2 days, preferably, because the DNC is approaching and she will solidify Bernie supporters behind her after. The Gustafsson 2.0 persona responded, "Okay, I see." WikiLeaks also explained, "We think Trump has only a 25% chance of winning against Hillary, so conflict between Bernie and Hillary is interesting." The GRU's transfer of stolen materials to WikiLeaks. I'll just check the footnote before I move on to that. On the 14th of March 2016, Twitter direct message, less than 2 weeks earlier, the same account had been used to send private message opposing the idea of Clinton in White House with her bloodlust and ambitions of empire with hawkish liberal interventionist appointees. And that's spelling is all difficult to read on that one. The GRU's transfer of stolen materials to WikiLeaks. Both the GRU and WikiLeaks sought to hide their communications, which has limited the officer's ability to collect all of the communication between them. Thus, although it is clear that the stolen DNC and Podesta documents were transferred from the GRU to WikiLeaks, redaction to complete that sentence. The office has been able to identify when the GRU, operating through its personas Gustafsson 2.0 and DCLeaks, transferred some of the stolen documents to WikiLeaks through online archives set up by the GRU. Assange had access to the internet from the Ecuadorian embassy in London, England. Redaction of a sentence or so. On July 14, 2016, GRU officers used a Gustafsson 2.0 email account to send WikiLeaks an email bearing the subject "Big Archive" and the message "A New Attempt." The email contained an encrypted attachment with the name WC, DNC, link 1, etc. Using the Gustafsson 2.0 Twitter account, GRU officers sent WikiLeaks an encrypted file and instructions on how to open it. On July 18, 2016, WikiLeaks confirmed in a direct message to the Gustafsson 2.0 account that it had 1 gigabyte or so archive and would make a release of the stolen documents this week. On July 22, 2016, WikiLeaks released over 20,000 emails and other documents stolen from the DNC computer networks. The Democratic National Convention began 3 days later. Similar communications occurred between WikiLeaks and the GRU operated persona DCLeaks. On September 15, 2016, DCLeaks wrote to WikiLeaks, "Hi there, I'm from DCLeaks. How could we discuss some submission-related issues? I'm writing to reach out to you via your secure chat, but getting no response. I've got something that might interest you. You won't be disappointed, I promise." The WikiLeaks account responded, "Hi there," without further elaboration. The DCLeaks account did not respond immediately. The same day, the Twitter account Gustafsson_2 sent DCLeaks a direct message, which is the first known contact between the personas. During subsequent communications, the Gustafsson 2.0 persona informed DCLeaks that WikiLeaks was trying to contact DCLeaks and arrange for a way to speak through encrypted emails. An analysis of the metadata collected from the WikiLeaks site revealed that the stolen Podesta emails show a creation date of September 19, 2016. Based on information about Assange's computer and its possible operating system, this date may be when the GRU staged the stolen Podesta emails for transfer to WikiLeaks, as the GRU had previously done in July 2016 for the DNC emails. The WikiLeaks site also released PDFs and other documents taken from Podesta that were attachments to emails in his account. These documents had a creation date of October 2, 2016, which appears to be the date the attachments were separately staged by WikiLeaks on its site. Beginning on September 20, 2016, WikiLeaks and DCLeaks resumed communications in a brief exchange. On September 22, 2016, a DCLeaks email account, dcleaksproject@gmail.com, sent an email to WikiLeaks account with the subject "Submission" and the message "Hi from DCLeaks." The email contained a PGP encrypted message with the file name wikimail.txt. Redaction. The email, however, bears a number of similarities to the July 14, 2016 email in which GRU officers used the Gustafsson 2.0 persona to give WikiLeaks access to the archive of DNC files. On September 22, 2016, the same day of DCLeaks' email to WikiLeaks, the Twitter account DCLeaks sent a single message to WikiLeaks with a string of characters. Redaction following there. The office cannot rule out the stolen documents were transferred to WikiLeaks through intermediaries who visited during the summer of 2016. For example, public reporting identified Andrew Mueller as a WikiLeaks associate who may have assisted with the transfer of these stolen documents to WikiLeaks. Just checking the footnotes on this page. I'll pass those. On October 7, 2016, WikiLeaks released the first emails stolen from the Podesta email account. In total, WikiLeaks released 33 tranches of stolen emails between October 7, 2016 and November 7, 2016. The releases included private speeches given by Clinton, internal communications between Podesta and other high-ranking members of the Clinton campaign, and correspondence related to the Clinton Foundation. In total, WikiLeaks released over 50,000 documents stolen from Podesta's personal email account. The last in-time email released from Podesta's account was dated March 21, 2016, 2 days after Podesta received a spear phishing email sent by the GRU. WikiLeaks statements dissembling about the source of stolen materials. As reports attributing the DNC and DCCC hacks to the Russian government emerged, WikiLeaks and Assange made several public statements apparently designed to obscure the source of the materials that WikiLeaks was releasing. The file transfer evidence described above and other information uncovered during the investigation discredit WikiLeaks' claims about the source of material that are posted. Beginning in the summer of 2016, Assange and WikiLeaks made a number of statements about Seth Rich, a former DNC staff member who was killed in July 2016. The statements about Rich implied falsely that he had been the source of the stolen DNC emails. On August 9, 2016, the WikiLeaks Twitter account announced WikiLeaks has decided to issue a $20,000 reward for information leading to conviction for the murder of DNC staffer Seth Rich. Likewise, on August 25, 2016, Assange was asked in an interview, "Why are you so interested in Seth Rich's killer?" and responded, "We're very interested in anything that might be a threat to alleged WikiLeaks sources." The interviewer responded to Assange's statement by commenting, "I know you don't want to reveal your source, but it certainly sounds like you're suggesting a man who leaked information to WikiLeaks was there murdered." Assange replied, "If there's someone who's potentially connected to our publication, that person has been murdered in suspicious circumstances. It doesn't necessarily mean the two are connected, but it is a very serious matter. That type of allegation is very serious, and it's taken very seriously by us." After the US intelligence community publicly announced its assessment that Russia was behind the hacking operation, Assange continued to deny that the Clinton materials released by WikiLeaks had come from Russian hacking. According to media reports, Assange told a US congressman that the DNC hack was an inside job and purported to have physical proof that Russians did not give materials to Assange. Additional GRU cyber operations. While releasing the stolen emails and documents through DC Leaks, GUSVA 2.0 and WikiLeaks, the GRU officers continue to target and hack victims linked to the Democratic campaign and eventually to target entities responsible for election administration in several states. Summer and fall 2016 operations targeting Democrat-linked victims. On July 27, 2016, Unit 26165 targeted email accounts connected to candidate Clinton's personal office. Earlier that day, candidate Trump made public statements that included the following: "Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press." The 30,000 emails were apparently a reference to emails described in media accounts as having been stored on a personal server that candidate Clinton had used while serving as Secretary of State. Within approximately 5 hours of Trump's statement, GRU officers targeted for the first time Clinton's personal office. After candidate Trump's remarks, Unit 26165 created and sent malicious links targeting 15 email accounts at the domain redacted, including an email account belonging to Clinton aide redacted. The investigation did not find evidence of earlier GRU attempts to compromise accounts hosted on this domain. It is unclear how the GRU was able to identify those email accounts, which were not public. Unit 26165 officers also hacked into a DNC account hosted on a cloud computing service, redacted. On September 2016, the GRU began to generate copies of the DNC data using redaction function designed to allow users to produce backups of database referred to as snapshots. The GRU then stole these snapshots by moving them to redacted account that they controlled. From there, copies were moved to GRU-controlled computers. The GRU stole approximately 300 gigabytes of data from the DNC cloud-based account. 2. Intrusions targeting the administration of US elections. In addition to targeting individuals involved in the Clinton campaign, GRU officers also targeted individuals and entities involved in the administration of the elections. Victims included US state and local entities such as State Board of Elections, SBOEs, Secretaries of State, and county governments, as well as individuals who worked for those entities. The GRU also targeted private technology firms responsible for manufacturing and administering election-related software and hardware, such as voter registration software and electronic polling stations. The GRU continued to target these victims through the elections in November 2016. While the investigation identified evidence that the GRU targeted these individuals and entities, the office did not investigate further. The office did not, for instance, obtain or examine servers or other relevant items belonging to these victims. The office understands that the FBI, the US Department of Homeland Security, and the states have separately investigated that activity. By at least the summer of 2016, GRU officers sought access to state and local computer networks by exploiting known software vulnerabilities on websites of state and local governmental entities. GRU officers, for example, targeted state and local databases of registered voters using a technique known as SQL injection, by which malicious code was sent to the state or local website in order to run commands such as exfiltrating the database contents. In one instance, in approximately June 2016, the GRU compromised the computer network of the Illinois State Board of Elections by exploiting a vulnerability in the SBOE's website. The GRU then gained access to a database containing information on millions of registered Illinois voters and extracted data related to thousands of US voters before the malicious activity was identified. GRU officers scanned state and local websites for vulnerabilities. For example, over a 2-day period in July 2016, GRU officers redacted for vulnerabilities on websites in more than 24 states. Some more redactions there in the footnotes of that page. Similar for vulnerabilities continued through the election, around some redactions there. Unit 74455 also sent spear phishing emails to public officials involved in election administration and personnel at companies involved in voting technology. In August 2016, GRU officers targeted employees of Redaction, a voting technology company that develops software used by numerous US counties to manage voter rolls, and installed malware on the company network. Similarly, in November 2016, the GRU sent spear phishing emails to over 120 email accounts used by Florida county officials responsible for administering the 2016 US election. The spear phishing emails contained an attached Word document coded with malicious software, commonly referred to as a Trojan, that permitted the GRU to access the infected computer. The FBI was separately responsible for this investigation. We understand the FBI believes that this operation enabled the GRU to gain access to the network of at least one Florida county government. The office did not independently verify that belief and, as explained above, did not undertake the investigative steps that would have been necessary to do so. D. The Trump campaign and the dissemination of hacked materials. The Trump campaign showed interest in WikiLeaks releases of hacked materials throughout the summer and fall of 2016. We've got significant redactions here, flagged as harm to an ongoing matter. We're now moving on to page 52. We've got significant redactions here from this page. Contacts with the campaign about WikiLeaks. On June 12, 2016, Assange claimed in a televised interview to have emails relating to Hillary Clinton, which are pending publication, but provided no additional context. In debriefings with the office, former Deputy Campaign Chairman Rick Gates said that, fully redacted, we don't know what he said, Gates recalled candidate Trump being generally frustrated that the Clinton emails had not been found. Paul Manafort, who would later become campaign chairman, full redaction as a tagged harm to ongoing matter. And so we have a lot of redactions here, just in the footnotes of this page. In February 2018, Gates pleaded guilty pursuant to a plea agreement to a superseding criminal information charging him with conspiring to defraud and commit multiple offences, i.e. tax fraud, failure to report foreign bank accounts and acting as an unregistered agent of a foreign principal against the United States, as well as making false statements in our office. Gates has provided information in court testimony that the office has deemed to be reliable. Another footnote, as explained further in Volume 1, Section 4, Manafort entered into a plea agreement with our office. We determined that he breached the agreement by being untruthful in proffer sessions before the grand jury. We have generally recounted his version of events in this report only when his statements were sufficiently corroborated to be trustworthy. To identify issues on which Manafort's untruthful responses may themselves be of evidentiary value, or to provide Manafort's explanation for certain events, even when we were unable to determine whether that explanation was credible. His account appears here principally because it aligns with those of other witnesses which have only been redacted. Michael Cohen, former Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization and Special Counsel to Donald Trump, told the office that he had recalled an incident in which he was in candidate Trump's office in Trump Tower, and then that's redacted, so we can't really know what he was talking about. Cohen further told the office that after WikiLeaks' subsequent release of stolen DNC emails in July 2016, candidate Trump said to Cohen something to the effect of, redacted. We don't know what he said. According to Gates, Manafort expressed excitement about the release. Redaction. Manafort, on his part, told the office that shortly after WikiLeaks' July 22 releases, Manafort also spoke with candidate Trump, and that is redacted as well. Manafort also wanted to be kept apprised of any significant redactions here, developments with WikiLeaks, and separately told Gates to keep in touch. Redaction about future WikiLeaks releases. According to Gates, by the late summer of 2016, the Trump campaign was planning a press strategy, a communications campaign, and messaging based on the possible release of Clinton emails by WikiLeaks. Further redactions. While Trump and Gates were driving to LaGuardia Airport, redaction shortly after the call, candidate Trump told Gates that more releases of damaging information would be coming. Further redactions. Corsi is an author who holds a doctorate in political science. In 2016, Corsi also worked for the media outlet WorldNet Daily. Further redactions here. Just in footnotes of this page, Corsi first rose to public prominence in August 2004 when he published his book Unfit for Command. Swift boat veterans speak out against John Kerry. In the 2008 election cycle, Corsi gained prominence by being a leading proponent of the allegation that Barack Obama was not born in the United States. Corsi told the office that Donald Trump expressed interest in his writings, that he spoke with Trump on the phone on at least 6 occasions. Corsi was first interviewed in the Special Counsel's office in September. A few more details there. Corsi told the office during interviews that he must have previously discussed Assange with Malloch. More redaction here. We don't know the full story here. According to Malloch, Corsi asked him to put Corsi in touch with Assange, whom Corsi wished to interview. Malloch recalled that Corsi also suggested that individuals in the orbit of UK politician Nigel Farage might be able to contact Assange, and asked if Malloch knew them. Malloch told Corsi that he would think about the request, but made no actual attempt to connect Corsi with Assange. And we have more redactions on this page. Malloch stated to investigators that beginning in or about 2016, he and Corsi had multiple FaceTime discussions with WikiLeaks redaction, had made a connection to Assange, and that the hacked emails of John Podesta would be released prior to Election Day and would be helpful to the Trump campaign. In one conversation in or around August or September 2016, Corsi told Malloch that the release of the Podesta emails was coming, after which we were going to be in the driver's seat. And a whole lot of redactions coming for the rest of the page there. We're going through a lot of redactions here, which is about the Trump campaign's connections with the stolen documents that WikiLeaks was handling. D. WikiLeaks October 7, 2016 release of stolen Podesta emails. On October 7, 2016, 4 days after the Assange press conference, redaction, the Washington Post published an Access Hollywood video that captured comments by candidate Trump some years earlier, and that was expected to adversely affect the campaign. Less than an hour after the video's publication, WikiLeaks released the first set of emails stolen by the GRU from the account of Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. Significant redactions on this page. Corsi said that because he had no direct means of communicating with WikiLeaks, he told members of the news site WND, who were participating in a conference call with him that day, to reach Assange immediately. Corsi claimed that the pressure was enormous and recalled telling the conference call the Access Hollywood tape was coming. Corsi stated that he was convinced that his efforts had caused WikiLeaks to release the emails when they did. In a later November 2018 interview, Corsi stated that he thought that he had told people on a WND conference call about the forthcoming tape and had sent out a tweet asking whether anyone could contact Assange, and then said that maybe he had done nothing. The office investigated Corsi's allegations about the events of October 7, 2016, but found little corroboration for his allegations about the day. Further redactions there, however, the phone records themselves do not indicate that the conversation was with any of the reporters who broke the Access Hollywood story, and the office has not otherwise been able to identify the substance of the conversation. More redaction. However, the office has not identified any conference call participant or anyone who spoke to Corsi that day who says that they received non-public information about the tape from Corsi or acknowledged having contacted a member of WikiLeaks on October 7, 2016 after a conversation with Corsi. Donald Trump Jr. interaction with WikiLeaks. Donald Trump Jr. had direct electronic communications with WikiLeaks during the campaign period. On September 20, 2016, an individual named Jason Fishbein sent WikiLeaks the password for an unlaunched website focused on Trump's unprecedented and dangerous ties to Russia, PutinTrump.org. WikiLeaks publicly tweeted, "Let's bomb Iraq. Progress for America pact to launch PutinTrump.org at 9:30 a.m. Oops, PW is Putin Trump, PutinTrump.org. Several hours later, WikiLeaks sent a Twitter direct message to Donald Trump Jr., a PAC-run anti-Trump site. Putin Trump is about to launch. The PAC is a recycled pro-Iraq war PAC. We have suggested the password. It is Putin Trump. See about for who is behind it. Any comments? Several hours later, Trump Jr. emailed a variety of senior campaign staff. Guys, I got a weird Twitter DM from WikiLeaks, see below. I tried the password and it works, and the about section they reference contains the next pick in terms of who is behind it. Not sure if this is anything, but it seems like it's really WikiLeaks asking me as I follow them, and it is a DM. Do you know the people mentioned and what the conspiracy they are looking for could be? These are just screenshots, but it's a fully built out page claiming to be a PAC, Political Action Committee. Let me know your thoughts and if we want to look into it." Trump Jr. attached a screenshot of the about page for the unlaunched site PutinTrump.org. The next day after the website had launched publicly, Trump Jr. sent a message to WikiLeaks. "Off the record, I don't know who that is, but I'll ask around, thanks." On October 3, 2016, WikiLeaks sent another direct message to Trump Jr. asking you guys to help disseminate a link alleging candidate Clinton had advocated using a drone to target Julian Assange. Trump Jr. responded that he already had done so and asked, "Who's behind this Wednesday leak I keep reading about?" WikiLeaks did not respond. On October 12, 2016, WikiLeaks wrote again that it was great to see you and your dad talking about our publications. Strongly suggest your dad tweets this link if he mentions us. WikiLeaks wrote that the link would help Trump in digging through leaked emails and stated, "We just released Podesta Emails Part 4. 2 days later, Trump Jr. publicly tweeted the WLSearch.tk link." Just checking the footnotes as we move on. And I think that brings us to the end of page 60. Might be a good time to stop this episode 3, and we'll take a break and move on to the next one.